The industrial processing of agricultural goods is a high-volume race to the bottom. Factories churn through thousands of tons of raw material just to squeeze out a narrow profit. But a single drop of amber liquid, resting in a crystal glass, commands entirely different economics. Piccadily Agro Industries Limited, or PALE, began its life in that high-volume reality. Operating as standard sugar mills and ethanol processors in Haryana, India, they were deeply embedded in the agricultural commodity sector. This graph shows the core challenge of the commodity market. You see flat overall growth punctuated by extreme, unpredictable price swings for raw sugar and bulk ethanol. The producer holds zero bargaining power, forced to take whatever price the market dictates on razor-thin margins. Between 2010 and 2012, leadership made a contrarian, highly capital-intensive bet. They decided to stop competing on bulk industrial volume and redirect their capital to build a global prestige luxury brand. Escaping commoditization is a total transformation, moving beyond pricing tweaks to a high-risk rewiring of the entire corporate output. Entering the luxury single malt market means going up against 200-year-old Scottish distilleries. These legacy brands rely on centuries of tradition and mild European climates to slowly mature their stock. PALE deviated from this formula immediately, starting with their biology. Instead of importing standard European 2-row barley, they sourced indigenous 6-row barley from Rajasthan. It yields less grain per acre, but delivers a higher concentration of proteins and enzymes, creating a robust flavor profile. This diagram shows their second geographic deviation. The climate in Haryana is extreme, swinging from 2 degrees Celsius in the winter up to 45 degrees in the summer. This intense thermal cycle forces the resting liquid to expand and contract deep into the wood grain, rapidly pulling out flavor, tannin, and color. Distillers call the liquid lost to evaporation the angel's share. In Scotland's mild climate, about 2% evaporates every year. In the intense Indian heat, that loss reaches between 10 and 12% annually. Because of this accelerated physical extraction, a malt aged for 4 to 6 years in Haryana achieves a flavor complexity and depth comparable to a 12 to 15-year-old traditional Scotch. Extreme geography acts as a disadvantage only if a company insists on playing by legacy rules. By embracing the heat, PALE successfully weaponized their local climate to compress time. But aging premium whiskey introduces a massive financial hurdle. You have to lock millions of dollars of working capital inside wooden barrels for up to 8 years, incurring costs daily without generating revenue from that stock. To survive that zero revenue gap, PALE utilized the industrial scale of their legacy sugarcane operations. Looking at this flowchart, you can see how they built a circular ecosystem. The waste byproducts from sugarcane, called bagasse, are burned to fuel captive power plants. Meanwhile, their ethanol output meets government blending mandates, generating predictable cash flow. That consistent bulk revenue subsidized the resting luxury barrels. The luxury market requires patience from a manufacturer, but that patience must be mathematically supported by industrial efficiency. Once the whiskey finally matured, PALE faced a strict regulatory ceiling. India governs alcohol state by state and bans direct-to-consumer advertising for liquor brands. How do you convince high-end consumers that an agricultural processor produces top-tier luxury goods if you cannot run a single advertisement? They bypassed domestic ads by entering the product into prestigious international blind tasting competitions. Winning Best in Show at the Whiskies of the World Awards provided immediate third-party validation. That international recognition drove organic demand back home in India, generating a level of domestic pull-through that regulators could not stop. When direct marketing is legally restricted, proving the product's merit on a neutral global stage becomes the primary tool for building brand equity. This bar chart illustrates the financial scale of PALE's victory. By migrating up the value chain, they structurally repriced their EBITDA margins from the single digits to over 20%. Their single malt, Injury, now commands 30% of the domestic market and exports to 25 countries. This execution offers 3 strategic lessons for any business leader currently trapped in a low-margin commodity cycle. Number 1, patience as a moat. Committing to a multi-year inventory build locks out reactionary competitors. Rivals cannot simply fast-forward time to catch up. Number 2, product-first validation. Earning objective validation at the highest global level reduces the need for traditional, expensive advertising campaigns. Number 3, commodity to brand migration. Businesses controlling raw materials can unlock exponential value by migrating up the value chain to own the final consumer experience. A company's historical origins do not trap it. With geographic ingenuity and strategic financial patience, a commodity processor can engineer its way onto the global top shelf.